Hey, before we start the interview, don't forget to go to imperialextraction.com. Yeah, that's right. And use the promo code Bootleg, and you're going to get a free, that's right, free pre-roll. THCA, diamond-loaded pre-roll, man. This is the Space Ape. This is the Pink Gelati. And you use that promo code Bootleg. Load these up in the cart. Hit checkout. Use that promo code. No purchase necessary. They're just going to send you a free pre-roll. That's what they're going to do, all right? And it's a premium joint, glass tip, stacked, all right? One more time, Imperial Extraction, keyword Bootleg. Get one for free. Let's get into the interview. Bootleg Kev Show, man. We got a special guest. As a Arizona native, it is an honor. One of my favorite Phoenix Suns of all time, and his jersey is going in the rafters, the Ring of Honor. Amar'e Stoudemire.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, brother.
What's up, my man? How
Long time coming, man.
Yeah, we're here now.
I got to tell you, man, like it just feels like ever since Matt Ishbia bought this team, he has done right by us fans and by like the era of Suns basketball that we all love so much.
Absolutely. I mean, he's great, bro. Like since he came in, he started this new wave of like excellence with the organization,
it's
right?
It's crazy.
It's awesome, man.
And it's so crazy because, like, you know, I feel like I pinch myself every time he does some cool shit. Like, we get a G League team now.
Right, exactly.
You know,
it's about time, right? Yeah, for sure, bro.
The games are free on TV.
Right.
You know, it's crazy, man. You were such a staple in this community, not just on the court. You know, I think back to, like, going to Stoudemire's and having penny drinks and getting wasted. Stoudemire's was a staple downtown for so long.
Yeah, exactly.
I even think to when you had your record label and you had like Judge and Juice and those guys, like, and you were like doing your part to kind of like help put on like AZ hip hop. Like all these years later, like how connected are you still to Phoenix? Obviously, you know, you went to New York and had an amazing run there, but like Phoenix is kind of like where it all started for you.
Yeah, it is. It's where it all started, bro. And I think my time in Phoenix was great because I was able to put on for the city.
You were.
You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying, the record label. We was doing we was hosting like talent shows.
Mm-hmm.
And so local artists would get a chance to you know, broaden their platform. From that standpoint, from a fashion standpoint, I had fashion shows out here for All-Star Weekend and these things. I mean, it just Phoenix became a home to me. You know what I'm saying? So I embraced it. I even trained here in the summer times. Like
and most people will leave and go to LA.
Everyone leave because the summertime is hot, whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
I stay here and train because the facilities are great, and plus I want to be in top shape, and I felt comfortable in my own home training with my trainers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was a good fit for me.
It's crazy, man, because I think back to like the Suns' heyday, the 7 seconds or less era of Phoenix Suns basketball, and you know, a lot of highs, a lot of heartbreak. Western Conference semifinals, 2007. You and Boris jump off the bench to defend Steve Nash.
Yep.
I made it on TNT because at the time they called me Bootleg Kev for a reason because back then I used to bootleg everything. Mixtapes, I used to sell mixtapes to like Nicky Nice and all the stores around town.
Right.
But I had Fuck Robert Horry t-shirts that I made.
Yeah, I remember those.
And that was me. And I sold them on the corner in front of the arena, and Craig Sager
I remember that.
Had one on TV.
That's right.
And so that was like, man, it felt like that year was like our year. It was like,
yeah, man, that was a crazy moment, bro, because no one knew about this rule you can't step on the court, right? No one heard of that. The coaching staff didn't know. If they would have known, they would have held us back, or we would have just not have stepped on the court. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was always pretty upset about that time too, because it's like, what kind of punishment is that to suspend someone for a playoff game without a warning? You know what I'm saying? But the following game, I came back game 6. So what I did was that game I spent at Stoudemire's downtown. So I had all my friends. So you
watched it there because you couldn't even be in the building, right?
Right. So I was across the street from the arena, and I went to the restaurant, the big screen TV, and we sat and ate food and watched the game. And then game 6, I came back with 38-16. You know what I'm saying? But by that time, they had the momentum.
Mm-hmm. They did, man.
You know,
it's crazy. I recently, you know, as a fan, like we carry sports fan hate with us. And when Kobe passed away, it like hit me real hard. I used to hate Kobe when he was alive as a player, you know, because I'm a Suns fan.
Cole was a Suns dagger, bro.
Exactly, right? But, you know, when he died, like I cried, you know, and I was like, it made me like let go of like, you know, some of the toxicity we have as sports fans. With that being said, I'm not sure how much I've let go of the Spurs hate that I have.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, Spurs. I have less love for the Spurs.
Oh
right?
my gosh, it's I want to like Wemby, but he's got that jersey on.
Yeah, for sure.
I just think all the heartbreak, man. Like it's crazy. Like, what was it like for you? Because when we think of D'Antoni, like he wasn't high on defense, but like you had to be the guy to like guard Duncan a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the hardest part about? He didn't show much emotion. I mean, I remember he hit a 3 against us in one of those playoff series.
And he showed the emotion then.
And I was just like...
That's the most emotion you might have seen
when
from
he hit that 3?
His whole entire career. It's crazy.
Nonetheless, I think like, he somehow gets... When we talk about the GOATs, he kind of slips through those conversations when he should be... I mean, he's the greatest power forward of all time. Like, 5 rings, go on and on. But what was the hardest part about competing against Tim Duncan in those high-intensity series and games?
Well, I mean, the problem is that the Spurs were always well coached and well organized, right? So, and with Tim, he was a player who play off angles. So wherever he is on the court, he figured out a way to get a basket or a rebound, and it's not like a loud 30 points, right? It's a few free throws here, it's a jump shot here, a couple layups.
He's like works the angles of the game.
You got 30 points and 15 rebounds?
Yeah.
Like, I'm dunking the ball all night.
And you don't even...
My points are loud.
Right. His are like, wait, he's got 30?
But then you look at the stat sheet at the end of the game, it's like, well, he got 35 and 15.
Yes.
But that's just how he played. He played silently and got his job done.
You got to play with Steve. I consider you to be a top 3 or 4 son of all time. I put you in that conversation. Obviously, shout out to Walter Davis. Shout out to Steve Nash. I put Barkley a little lower because he only played a few years for us. But I think Devin Booker has taken the reins as the he might be up. He might be the GOAT of the Suns all time. For you, I know he had said recently yesterday. He actually said that when he was going through a lot of the losing his rookie season, you had kind of reached out to him. But like, what's it like to just see a guy like Book, kind of carry the torch from what you guys built? Because there was the dark ages. And now it's like, all right, well, we're relevant again. What's your guys' relationship like? And, where would you put Book in terms of, like, the all-time Suns greats?
Yeah, I think Book still have a long ways to go, right? He's really just getting started, man. He's only in his mid-20s.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And what he's accomplished already is incredible. So he's definitely in those top conversations for sure. And so, yeah, there was some times where when I played here, we had our run, and then there was like you said, a dark moment, and then they drafted Book, and then they start to kind of revamp, and now they're doing great, right, with the KD and these guys. But Devin is definitely at the top of the list when it comes to all-time Suns, and the way he plays the game. We was at the game last night. The way he plays the game is like fundamentally sound. He's always
and he's
on
just
balance.
he's got that killer instinct, man. Like,
he goes for it. He goes for it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you want from a coaching standpoint or just a spectator standpoint. You want to see your player go for it. You know what I mean?
For sure. For you, man, 2010, you end up it was what summer of end of the 2010 season, right? Going into 2011, there's the giant I guess the most memorable offseason probably in basketball history because you're a free agent, LeBron's a free agent, Chris Bosh is a free agent. You end up with the Knicks. You have an MVP caliber season your first year there before the injuries happen. What was tell me like what your mind state was, because it would have been nice to have kept you. It would have been nice to have kept a few people on the Suns. We'll get to that. But what was like your mind state year one in New York? Like, because you were playing with a chip on your shoulder that first year. It was crazy. I think you had a bunch of MVP votes. Like I think you guys were like a little over 500, but you were balling. Like what was that first year with New York like?
I mean, it was incredible, bro. It's like New York was a place I always wanted to play in, right? Like everyone wants to play in Madison Square Garden. And to be a Knick and to play in New York and for me to be able to just show my entire skill set, right? So I was able to. You're
still with Mike D'Antoni too. He was coaching that year. So
I was with Mike D'Antoni was still coaching there, and so now I'm able to really show my whole package, my game. You know what I'm saying? So when I did that, it's like the league wasn't ready for all of what I had in store. So I took the league by storm. Crazy MVP chance. I was leading candidate for MVP halfway through the season, and the city was on fire. Right, every restaurant I go to, everything's free. Mm-hmm. I mean, everything was like New York was on fire, bro. So it was a beautiful time in New York that year.
Well, can you give me a little window on what it was like to be around for the Linsanity season? Because I think were you hurt when all that was happening?
Nah, my brother had passed away.
Okay.
And I had went to Florida for like I think a week or so.
And then it happened while you were gone.
While I was gone. So, but I came back and caught it. So what happened was a few players were hurt.
Melo was out, right?
Melo was hurt.
You were gone.
I was gone, and there was a few other players that were hurt. So Jeremy Lin was like the 15th man on the roster, whatever, 12th man on the roster.
Right.
And so he got a call to say, "We need you to play. We need you to start. You got to step up for us." And he stepped up and had 30 points game one. All right, 30 points. Is kind of
anybody can get 30 on any given night.
You know what I'm saying? Then he comes back with another 30. Like, wait, all right, well, and I'm in Florida watching the games. I'm like, dang, Jeremy Lin going off. And then played the Lakers, had 38 on Kobe. I'm like, wait, hold on, something ain't right.
What's going on?
And then I get back to New York, and the city's crazy. It's upside down. I mean, everybody's everywhere cheering, chanting. The crowd was crazy in the streets. Every single restaurant, everywhere was like.
It was a movement.
It was a movie.
It was all that was on TV.
It's crazy, bro. And it lasted for a good 2 weeks. It was fun.
It was like 2 weeks, yeah. Well, then, because Melo came back, and I feel like I think he's talked about it, but there was weird energy there, but Jeremy Lin Saturday was a moment. So
yeah. I mean, I was back. I was back. Also, we played a game against Toronto, and it was down to the last, few seconds, and I'm like, all right, it's my time to hit the game winner. Jeremy Lin kind of moves everybody out the way. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, Jerry.
I got this.
He said, I got this.
Did he hit it?
And pulled up for the 3, won the game.
Wow.
So we were like, all right, I'm gonna let him shine. I'm gonna let him be who he is and have fun. But it all changed. Melo came back, then it kind of got a little shaky because Jeremy Lin wasn't playing much, and the ball wasn't going to him as much, so it kind of dropped there. But it was a good run for him.
Hey, we got to give a shout out, man, before we keep going with this interview. Much love to the homies at MyBookie. Don't forget, it's NBA season right now, man. We already got through that NFL season. If you want to win some money, make sure you go to mybookie.ag. Sign up with that promo code Bootleg. Get that first deposit bonus up to $1,000 right now. We can get in on some of this NBA action. The MVP race is wide open right now. I kind of like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as the sleeper. I think he's second favorite. I think he's going to win over Jokic, all right? Plus, you can get in on the Rookie of the Year. You can get in on your daily games. And they got the full-service casino going down. MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code Bootleg right now. Get in on the action. Let's make some money, all right? Go do that. Also want to give a shout-out to the homies over at Blue Chew. Man, does Blue Chew work, they ask? Of course. What is Blue Chew, you ask? It is the same active ingredient as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form. The best part about Blue Chew is it gets delivered right to your doorstep discreetly, and nothing involves you leaving your house and having to go to a doctor, sit down in the waiting room so you can go talk to some strange old man about your problems that you have, maybe with erectile dysfunction, maybe stress, maybe performance, maybe you're tired of fucking your wife. Can you get tired of fucking your wife? I mean, I don't know. I'm not tired of fucking my wife, but maybe out there you're tired of fucking your wife. And you need a little extra motivation to get that dick hard. Well, Blue Chew comes in handy, my boy. So go to Blue Chew right now, and they're going to give you a month's supply for free. That's right, a month's supply for free at BlueChew.com. The keyword, though, when you check out to get that month's supply, help out the podcast, use the keyword Bootleg. That's BlueChew.com, keyword Bootleg. Get a month's supply free of Blue Chew. Let's get back to the interview and such. You've played with a lot of amazing players. I mean, obviously, even throughout the later years of your career, when you're on certain rosters, like back-to-back MVP Steve Nash, Melo. Who, in your opinion, would be the best player you played with, or just your best teammate you had?
Man, I had a lot of cool teammates, bro. I had a lot of fun, right? I was always inviting my teammates out to dinner, to gatherings, to wine tasting.
Yeah, you did have a nightclub.
You know what I'm saying? I was inviting all my guys out to hang out because I think the best thing about it is to build team camaraderie.
For sure.
Because I'm on the court, I'm the leader of the team, and I'm telling my guys, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's like after demanding so much, they're gonna be like, man, I can't take this. But if we go out, we have a good time. You see, it's all coming from a good place. And now when I demand my teammates to do something, it's not reprimanding. They know I'm doing.
You guys are friends,
right?
First.
They're my guys.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And so I think for us in Phoenix, the team we had with Nash, Sean, Joe Johnson.
Oh, we're going to get to that team, but yeah, continue.
But I'm saying those guys will come out and we'll hang out. Like Nash would come out and hang out in the clubs with us.
Who would have thought?
You know what I'm saying? Right. Oh, Nash was in there. Right?
Yeah.
He with the guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that team camaraderie helped. So I would say Steve Nash is probably my favorite teammate that I played with, not only as an unselfish player, and he played with a certain type of passion for the game, but I enjoyed playing with Steve.
Your guys' two-man game, the lob, man, listen, and I feel like somehow Nash was like a decade before his time. Because I think about like the three-point era of the game and how good Nash is as a shooter, like how much he might have averaged if the game was, the way it is now.
Yeah, you shoot more threes now. I mean, we led the league in three-point shooting, I think, shooting, 12 threes a game?
Yep. And
now,
what is
now
that
you got
now?
players shooting
that would
12
probably
threes
be
a game.
last place in the league.
Yeah, and we led the league in three-point shooting and percentages during that stretch. So we started this whole wave of now three-point shooters, right? We started the whole thing.
For sure. Is there something about the 7 seconds or less thing that you feel like gets a bad rep because, we always hear D'Antoni wasn't like he didn't coach a lot of defense, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I've talked to other players who've said that, like Baron Davis.
Yeah, I mean,
but it obviously worked to the point where the Suns were the number 1 seed, the number 2 seed, like very like it, caught a couple of tough breaks in the playoffs. But like, I feel like that brand of basketball somehow, like when you talk to basketball nerds, they're like, yeah, but you'll never win a ring with that. But
well, I mean, the thing is, we could have won a ring for sure, right? We had a couple breaks.
Shitty owner.
Yeah, we had a couple breaks, a couple bad releases, right? Certain players, we could have signed Joe for like 50-something million. Oh, and then he went to go sign for 100 and something million and become a 6-time All-Star. Like we could have had him on our squad for a long time.
Crazy. Oh, heartbreak.
The 2010 team, 8 or 9 team, we lost against the Lakers in the Western Finals.
That was 2010.
2010.
Robin Lopez was starting center.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I had him playing well. He's playing alongside of me.
He was, yeah. And then Ron Artest decided he wanted to start making threes.
Right, and then we go and not bring me back to for the following year, and we were right there at the Western Finals. So we had chances to win with that style.
Right.
But
that was Gentry though.
That was Gentry.
That was Alvin Gentry, who
Gentry
was the coach.
Who had more of a defensive minded.
I was going to say, like, that season, somehow we forget about it, but that was the closest you guys got to the finals, and Marion was not on that team.
Yeah, it's true.
It was like a very underrated Grant Hill season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Robin Lopez, underrated season from the big
Channing
guy.
Frye stepped up big for us.
Channing Frye, Jay Rich.
Stretch 4, stretch 5, which is now the game.
Is now the game, and we were so close, and the Lakers ripped our hearts out. But, like, that season, your final season, like, it would have been crazy to get a ring, man. Like, it was right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, going against Kobe, though, that was – because,
Kobe wasn't an easy guy to go against, bro. You can't stop Kobe.
I think back to the times, though, where we bounced them out as the 8 seed.
Yeah.
After Shaq left.
Right.
Anytime I get into arguments with Laker fans, we
beat the Lakers. We got Kobe out of there.
The first round.
In the first round.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I always bring that up because I always do the LeBron or Jordan versus Kobe because, I live in L.A., so them L.A. fans, they don't want to hear anything. And I'm like, well, when Kobe was just Kobe and there was no other guys, 8 seed, and we got him up out of there.
We
2
got him out of
years
there.
straight.
2 years straight. Suns over the Lakers.
Talk to me about that seed. So, listen, the what ifs, right? You brought up Joe Johnson, which is one of the more heartbreaking free agency departures because we think about what could have been, right? Like, I remember being at those games with Joe. I remember being at that Clippers game where Tim Thomas hit that 3 in the corner against the Clippers in the playoffs when the Clippers had like Sam Cassell.
I remember that.
When as a player, what's the morale like when the Joe Johnson thing happens and you're like, this is a easy. This I mean, it has to kind of mess with you a little bit where you're like,
yeah, I mean, Joe's my guy. Like, we both.
And it's such an obvious basketball move to make.
Yeah, it would. You would think so. But Joe was there my rookie year, right? So we was like around the same age, and so we had great, camaraderie as young players that's going to grow in this league.
Right.
And we figured we'll be, on the same squad for some time and keep growing and keep getting better. And we had a solid playoff run.
Solid.
When we had Q Rich and those guys, we went to the Western Finals.
Yep.
And so when Joe leaves, I'm like, all right, well, that's just a bad move. He didn't really ask for a lot. and he wanted to stay. And as a player, I'm like 2 years in, I can't really say much and try to demand anything at that moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know how this whole thing works. So it was tough when Joe left. But we had to keep pushing. And I think they knew, like, they had Stoudemire and then Nash, which is the cornerstone guys.
And Marion.
And Sean. So whatever players you bring around them, it's going to be successful regardless. So I think that was the mindset also with the ownership.
I was going to say, was there, like, I feel like back then it wasn't as publicized because we were winning so much. The Sarver thing, you know? I feel like later on during the dark years, I call them, like, people were like, sell the team, # sell the team.
Yeah.
Did you guys realize, like, the ownership for the Suns at that point in time is a little bit different than some of the more marquee franchises in the league?
Yeah, it was getting crazy, bro. I mean, I came into the Suns when we had Jerry Colangelo, who was an awesome owner.
For sure.
And
the
then
GOAT.
Brian,
some might say the GOAT.
He's the GOAT, bro. And then Brian Colangelo was our GM. Yep. And he would bring players in. It was signed players. And it wasn't like a stingy type of organization. Like, the best players want to come here, we're going to pay you to come, and we're going to play to win.
Right.
That kind of shifted when Sarver came. It was like more so trying to reconstruct deals. Joe's gone, not re-signing Stoudemire. Like, it was a whole thing that took place, which wasn't the same energy as it was with Mr. Colangelo. But long story short, we still had our core guys who still had success.
For sure. Hey, we got to stop the interview to tell you about our good folks at Odd Socks. That's right. We love Odd Socks, man. This is our family right here. Naruto, Street Fighter. I can't wait because they're about to send us the new Office Odd Socks. They just did the Office collab for the TV show The Office, so that's just fire. I can't wait till we get those in to show y'all. You can check them out, oddsocksofficial.com. They got the draws, Dr. Pepper underwear, hot Cheetos, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody whose dick smells like hot Cheetos. Fucking take a shower. With that being said, oddsocksofficial.com. Use the promo code BOOTLEG right now. Save 20% off at checkout. Also, want to give a shout out to our family at King Palm. Now, we've been smoking on these King Palms for almost a year now, man. Let me tell you, bro, it kind of changed the way I look at smoking because this is a natural, tobacco-free leaf. It's organic, baby. What's great about it is it's got the terpenes that is going to get you right with the flavors. Like these right here, this is the peach pineapple. I do love the peach pineapple. I also love the apple, the regular apple. I also love the lemon haze. I also love, give me the banana creams right there. Look, these are them boys right here. Woo! The banana creams, they're fire, all right? So this was dope. King Palm, whatever city you're in, man, pull up to the smoke shop. They're going to have King Palms for you. 7-Eleven, they're going to have King Palms for you. Or you could just use the promo code BOOTLEG right now at kingpalm.com, and you're going to get 50% off. Half off. 50% off. And they got cool devices. Hand me a cool device. Over here. More, down. There's better devices. kingpalm.com. Promo code BOOTLEG, 50% off whatever's on the website. For example, cool device. This is an electronic grinder, so you could grind up your flour. You know what I'm saying? They got all kinds of shit. kingpalm.com, promo code BOOTLEG, and let's get back to the interview. Did Ishbia and the Suns leave it up to you whether you wanted to retire 1 or 32?
Well, I've always put it out there that I wanted to retire 32, even before Matt Ishbia came on.
Well, because Book's won, so it's like at that point, it's like
even before Book came on the team.
Right. So because 32, I feel like both sides, both jerseys, you had. I mean,
yeah, 30.
But 32 is where it started. Like when I buy a retro, I'm buying the retro 32. You know,
that's where it started. And the thing about the 32 jersey is, there's only one player that will ever see or know in today's game, in the game of basketball, that have ever been the first to get Rookie of the Year out of high school. You will never see that again. There will never be another first. So that 32 jersey represents that. Out of all the high school players that came out into the NBA, the first person to do it was that 32 jersey in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? And that's a trivia question on board games, like these games you play.
Because most people will say LeBron, but it was you.
Right.
Yeah. It's so crazy, man. I remember when we drafted you and Marion within, what was that, like a 3-year window or whatever it was? It felt like, and we got Nash. It just felt like tides were turning. They were turning, man. Like, it's crazy too because I feel like you are probably like one of the best in-game dunkers of all time. You obviously did the dunk contest in 1 year, I think, right?
Twice.
You did it twice. This last dunk contest was rough.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't worth watching.
It was rough. Like, do you think they could ever fix the dunk contest again?
Yeah, you can. You got to get guys who can dunk in the game. Like you got Zion, you have Jalen Green, you have Ja Morant.
Oh, yeah.
You get these guys in the dunk contest. When I was coming up, we got in the dunk contest. That's the thing. Like you want
like Kobe did the dunk contest.
You want to be great.
You did the dunk contest.
You want to be great. You go in the dunk contest.
I also think there's something to say about the judges changing every year. Because some of these judges that they're like, hey, this guy played for the Pacers in 1984. And, I was watching, like, I just don't know how Jaylen Brown made it to the finals. God bless Jaylen Brown. He's an amazing guy. And
I don't understand the D Brown.
He hit it at the end on the floor.
You on the ground, and then you go, is that a dab or is that the D Brown? Which one is it?
It was crazy, man.
It was crazy.
Just for me, man, I just want to say, like, you are part of the best memories of as a Suns fan. Up until recently, we did go to the finals recently, but like my childhood,
yeah,
it's it's Marion, it's Steve Nash. That Steve Nash, those back-to-back MVPs, right?
Yeah.
A lot of guys like to look back at those, specifically Shaq for the second one. Do you feel like Nash deserved that second MVP over Shaquille O'Neal?
I think what happened was because that second year I was injured. And Nash still was able to propel the team to a 60-win season or 58-win season.
Without his number one guy.
Without without the leading scorer, leading rebounder.
Leader, everything. Yeah, you were our guy. You were like...
You know what I'm saying? And so for him to still manage that and still have, I think it was the best record in the NBA at the time, that is a lot to be said. And so I think that's why he was able to win that MVP, that second one, because he was able to like withstand his number one guy out and still being the top team in the league.
Who was the most annoying player to play against that you would have to either guard or who guarded you?
The most annoying player?
Yeah, just somebody who you're just like, God damn it, this guy's going to guard me all day. Like,
I mean, I didn't like guarding Elton Brand.
Elton Brand. Very slept on, dude.
People forget about Elton Brand.
Hey, when he was with Philly in the Clippers,
EB, what he does
nice.
is when you go for the rebound, he goes out of bounds.
Which you're not supposed to do, right?
And then your ball goes up and he comes back and just duck you in. Like, it was so aggravating to me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you always get the inside position and get the offensive rebound and score. I'm like, hold on, man. I can't watch him out of bounds and watch the ball. So that was tough. And also Kevin Garnett. He was always like, he couldn't stop me, but he liked to grab and hold. And it's like he's a defensive prowess. You know what I'm saying?
Greatest, yeah. So
it's like you got to bring your A game, but yet he gets away with a few holes and grabs because his mentality, you know what I'm saying? So which is always good to play against.
Last thing I wanted to ask, man, just like tell me, like, for the people of Arizona, for the people of Phoenix who are watching this, obviously all the basketball fans are watching this, just like, this is a big deal. Being a part of the Ring of Honor, some of the names that are up there with you, way overdue. What is your message to the Suns fans?
Well, I think my message is more so the appreciation that the fans have for me, and they watch me grow from a teenager all the way through my 20s, right? And to be able to now, be inducted into the Ring of Honor with a jersey retirement. They've been with me from the start, and so seeing the growth, seeing the determination, the will to persevere through injury, to be in top shape, to try to contend for a championship, the heart that I put in the basketball court, the way I played and the passion I played with, the fans appreciate that, and I want to let them know I appreciate them for their appreciation. You know what I'm saying?
Would you ever coach?
I coached 2 years for player development with the Nets.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep, when Nash was there.
Yeah. But it's something that could happen, but right now I'm not looking forward to it.
You think Nash got a rough deal over there in Brooklyn?
It was a rough deal. He did the best he could, which I thought he did a pretty good job.
Me too.
It was a rough stretch.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate you. Appreciate your time, and thank you for the memories, man.
Yes, sir.
Amar'e Stoudemire, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go. 32.
Boom. Want to shout out to Hardin, man. Hey, don't forget, this interview was brought to you by Hardin, and when you're hitting Las Vegas, you got to stop off at Hardin. Tell the Uber driver, the taxi driver, take me to Hardin. They're going to take you. They're going to get you right. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you go visit them at HardinLasVegas.com. Go follow them, Hardin_Las Vegas. And when you go and check out the most craziest premium selection of cannabis in the world. Make sure you tell them I sent you. They're going to get you situated. Salute to Hardin. Thank you for watching.